Welcome to Movies with James, where we talk all things physical media, all things movies. We're going to even add in some hot toys, action figures every once in a while, anything related to movies we're going to cover on this channel. So thank you for clicking on this video. If you want to support this channel, the best way to support this channel is by hitting that subscribe button. So if you hit that subscribe button, that is the best way to support it, hands down. Thank you very much for doing that. But let's just get right into today's video. Today we're talking Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So I just got done seeing this movie last night in the theaters. It was a lot of fun. And I'm going to try to do like a spoiler-free review, just talk a little bit about my thoughts on the movie, the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise, a little bit about Marvel, and if Marvel is back on track with this movie. So if you've not seen this film, I'm going to try to keep it as spoiler-free as I can, so don't click away. You can still stay tuned and tune in to my thoughts and what I thought about it. If you have seen this film, try to keep that comment section spoiler-free for other people. We don't want to ruin that movie for anybody. Especially on my channel, I try to be as spoiler-free as I can for new movies out in theaters. I don't like being the one that gets ruined for movies or ruining someone else's movie experience. But let's just jump into the film right away. So the film starts off with a lot of fun, fast-paced. I guess it's not the most fast-paced start, but if you saw Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, takes place right after that. So they're still on that same planet. I think it's nowhere. Good opening. Jumps into the main plot of the story right away. I don't want to give that away, but the main plot is very, very good. They are on a mission, as always, as the Guardians of the Galaxy, to save the galaxy, save the universe, but also to save themselves. The villain is very well done. I think Marvel is starting to get back on track with their villains. The CGI in the theater was a lot of fun. I did see it on an IMAX screen, so I think if you have the chance to see it on the biggest screen possible, that's what I suggest. So if you have an IMAX in your area or like a Dolby Vision theater that has a really big screen, check it out on the biggest screen possible. All the space scenes were amazing on IMAX. I think it really added more to that experience of watching it in the theaters. I do love watching movies at home. I have a nice TV, nice surround sound, all of that, but can't beat that theater experience. Getting back into the film, they are on a mission to save themselves and save the galaxy at the same time. We get introduced to a new character that was in one of the in-credit scenes of the last couple Marvel films. Adam Warlock. Will Poulter, I believe, plays that character. He does a great job. I'm not as familiar with the comics as a lot of Marvel fans, so I don't know if they did his character justice or not. But I enjoyed his character. He has a very interesting arc in the film. This definitely closes up a lot of loopholes for all the characters and finishes off all the main Guardians arcs. So James Gunn did an amazing job with closing up all multiple stories and storylines of all the individual Guardians, but also the Guardians as a whole. So I enjoyed that aspect of it. I did see a later showing, and I'm getting older, so it's hard for me to stay awake in these theaters with these new recliner seats and heated seats. It's hard to stay awake sometimes. I stayed awake the whole time. Was very engaged. The action scenes were amazing. There's a great hallway fight scene that is just top-notch CGI, top-notch Marvel madness and fun. I really, really think Marvel was back on track with this film. And that could just be maybe just James Gunn, maybe just the Guardians story. I think James Gunn plays a big effect into how well this film was done, since he is the director, producer, kind of the visionary behind the Guardians. The story is a little dark. I don't want to give anything away, but if animal cruelty or animal abuse, or it's not hardcore, but there is some hard moments for animal lovers in this film. I do love the new characters. I want to get that Layla, Floor, Teeths, and Rocket shirt. I'm definitely going to order one of those. You've seen that shirt probably floating around on social media. James Gunn's been wearing it a lot in a bunch of interviews. I love those 3 new characters that they introduced. We get to know Rocket's backstory, so I don't think that's really a spoiler, but if it is, I apologize. But that's kind of the main focus of this film, is Rocket's backstory and tying that into the main story. I think Marvel got back on track with this film. I don't know how they're going to keep that energy that Guardians brought to their future films. I hope they can find a way. It was a perfect pacing, great amount of comedy at the right times, amazing action sequences, and it all tied in very well with the very emotional scenes that James Gunn also threw in there. I didn't get too much of anything at once, but the pacing and cutting between different emotions and action and dramatic scenes was really, really well done. This is probably the best Marvel film I've seen since, I think, Spider-Man No Way Home. So in their newest phase or newest saga, this is definitely the strongest film in that saga, I would say, for myself. Let me know what you think, if this is a strong Marvel film. Keep it spoiler free though in those comments. So if I had to give this film a rating, let's say we give it a rating out of 10. I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10. The only thing that wasn't 10 out of 10 for me was the soundtrack. It did not have as many memorable Guardians songs that get stuck in your head after watching the film. It does have a good callback to one of the original Guardians songs that we all fell in love with. Maybe on a second viewing, I might bump that score up and get it closer to a 9, a solid 9, but I'd say 8, 8.5 out of 10. Go see it in theaters. Go see it on the biggest screen you can. I enjoyed it a lot. It's a lot of fun. I think Marvel is back on track with this entry in their timeline of massive amount of films. I think James Gunn is going to do really great things at DC if he can bring that energy and that fun, but the serious tone that he just did in Guardians. I think DC has a great future ahead of them with James Gunn. But as always with movies with James, go find a movie, get some good snacks, and have a good night.